That's going to be a good outtake. Rubbing the thing on the way down.
Could be taken so out of context.
Certainly can be. All right.
All right.
World of Warcraft, or Warcraft the movie. Just Warcraft?
Just Warcraft.
I don't think it has the movie after it. We just saw that film, and we're going to talk about it. Warcraft. Went to a fan experience, which was fun. Got some lanyards, gave us a free poster, tried to butter us up, showed us like a 15-minute making of the movie, kind of, pump you up before it, basically.
It was cool.
Which my friend, our friend Justified, who said that this is them justifying the shitty movie we're about to see right now. And I don't know, it was kind of just that. What did you think of Warcraft?
Well, coming from my perspective, I never played the game. You did, though, however. I went to this movie with no experience with the game whatsoever. My extensive knowledge of Warcraft is through South Park, that episode, which we all love. This was supposed to be the movie that was supposed to turn the tide and end the trend of terrible video game adaptation movies. Does it succeed? Yeah, no, not really.
No. Yes, after we got out of this movie, I immediately said to everyone who was within listening distance, Mortal Kombat is still the best video game movie to this day.
I would disagree with that. I still think this movie's better than Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, you kidding me? At least Mortal Kombat was coherent. But we'll get a little
Mortal
further
Kombat
into
has
that,
nostalgia factor, though, I think.
Nostalgia
and the
factor,
novelty.
yeah. But the difference between this movie and World of Warcraft is, or World of Warcraft, see, I want to keep calling it that because I played the game for years, but the difference between Mortal Kombat and this movie is, at least in Mortal Kombat, we got to know our characters and gave a shit about them as I was watching the movie. I don't think there was much character development in this movie. I think if you're not a fan of Warcraft, you haven't played the 3 games, you haven't played World of Warcraft, you're going to be really lost while you're watching this movie. Just ask this kid, how lost were you watching this movie?
Very lost. I was telling you before, the first third of the movie, the first 30 minutes, I was very lost, just trying to get a grasp of the whole to this movie, trying to figure out what's going on, who's who's against who. But the middle hour of it, I felt I grabbed a hold of it. I felt like, okay, I know what's going on. But then the final 30 minutes, the climax, it just went to straight, I have no idea what the hell's going on. I know who is against who, but I have no idea why or why not. I felt that performances-wise, Dominic Cooper, Toby Kebbell, and Ben Foster all did a competent job. Nothing like stands out or anything like that. No great performances, but they're all competent. They're all fine. The one kid though, there was a kind of like kid wizard who dropped out of wizard school.
He's a mage.
He was incredibly annoying to me. Not necessarily annoying. I thought the actor who was playing him, it didn't feel right to the rest of the characters.
I think that happens a lot. I think Ben Foster's character, Medivh, is like this big, wizard, mage as well from World of Warcraft, who's supposed to be, very experienced and very old, and he talks about all these things that happened in the past, and I'm like, you're like 28, bro. What are you talking about? Like last year this thing happened, and you're talking about you've lived this big long life. I guess you can hide it. Wizard can change what they look like. He might be 100 years old and still look young.
Ben Foster is younger than he looks, so
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And he usually plays like a younger character
younger
too.
Than he is,
yeah. So the acting on point, I just think that the movie was terribly miscast. A lot of the people didn't really fit, except for Dominic Cooper. I thought he was fine.
He did good, yeah.
I like how Dominic Cooper is crying throughout 95% of the movie. I think every scene he's zoomed in on is just them big blue eyes.
I didn't see that, but maybe on a second viewing I'll see it.
I don't know. I feel like everybody was crying in this movie the entire time for no reason, or maybe to give us some dramatic effect. But this movie was extremely messy. That's really what I'm trying to get to here.
Yeah.
We found out maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. I assume it's true based on the movie we just saw, but they probably chopped 30 minutes out of this movie to make it shorter. Mm-hmm. I bet you that 30 minutes was the 30 minutes that you were looking around the movie going, what is happening? Yeah. Why is this so confusing? I bet if I had 30 more minutes that actually explained what the hell was going on, we wouldn't be in this position. But yeah, the movie starts to set up things. The first 10 minutes of the movie are awesome. Then you just lose it for 30, 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. Finally starts coming back together. And then as the climax is about to happen, they just rush through the end of this movie like just... Warcraft. It's like, well, what the hell just happened? Like, we were here 5 minutes ago, and now we're over here. So that's what really threw me off of this movie is the narrative structure just didn't make any sense. There were so many scenes that, we fall on two characters, they have a conversation for 25 seconds, and then we zoom hundreds of miles away to two more characters, they have a conversation for a minute and a half, then we zoom back, and we got to fly to another place, and we got to fly to... This needed to be way tighter than it was. And you had a question that you wanted to ask about our fair director, Duncan Jones. So we both really like Duncan Jones. So.
Oh yeah, we love Duncan Jones. We loved Moon and Source Code.
Moon is so good.
He's definitely a very, he has a lot of potential, but we were just asking sort of, how much control did he have over this movie? Was he just told, this is what you need to do it, or was he allowed to put any say-so into it? He has a writing credit in it. He's a co-writer on this. So, but we don't know exactly how much control he had over this. One scene I wanted to point out was there's a death scene in this movie, and they really try to make it emotionally gripping towards you.
Oh, yeah.
But it does not work whatsoever, because we were just introduced to the character 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. And even though we were introduced to him earlier in the movie, it's such a fleeting, just minute moment. It's not like... the relationship to this character to one of our main characters just kind of comes out of nowhere, and then they just kind of expect you to understand and know. That's what I'm saying with this. If there's a half an hour on the cutting floor, there's 20 minutes of those two characters talking, getting to know it. We're getting to know the characters so we can enjoy. But, that's the worst thing in a movie, too, when they drop something really important on you in that, and I'm just sitting there going... How's this damn movie going to be over? Because I'm not feeling anything right now. Yeah,
there's no establishment of characters. Like you were saying, they established that character earlier before, but I completely forgot. Because I'm so busy in the first half hour just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, that they maybe introduced this character, and I just completely forgot.
Yeah.
And also there's a turn of one character towards the ladder, towards the climax. I have no idea how this happened, why they somewhat explain it, but it's very flimsy, and I don't know. I don't get it.
I feel like those are the moments that Duncan Jones and the other writer were definitely trying to create their story with, because he's obviously a good storyteller. Moon, just a great story all the way through, and you're hooked through the whole movie. And I think in this movie, Blizzard and the people who run the Warcraft games just, we need this, and here's the list of 40 things that have to be in this movie.
Here's the list of fan service.
Here's the fan service. Yeah. Fit it in, and then if you can't fit it in, well, do it anyway. Even if it doesn't make any sense, just fit all the stuff in the movie. So visually, amazing. I thought the orcs looked awesome. I thought all the stuff looked awesome. The CG, every time you're zooming around in a city, it's absolutely gorgeous. The sets are great. The sound. We saw this movie.
Was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, we saw this. The sound was the best part of the movie. We saw this in IMAX 3D, and the sound in the building was awesome. When you're in a canyon in this movie, all the sound kind of disappears, and it's all up on top. And when there's a lightning strike, it felt like it came from above me. It wasn't like from the screen. So they nailed the sound. So if you do go see this movie, and I'd recommend seeing it if you're a Warcraft fan. I honestly, if you're just taking the kids to a movie, you take them to go see Conjuring, because I don't know if they probably won't have as much of a good time in this as they might will in that movie. So, I couldn't recommend it unless you're a fan, but there were some things that were good about the movie, but I wouldn't exactly say everybody go see this movie. I think it's definitely like a Blu-ray or a rent kind of buy thing, unfortunately.
Well, the one thing that's going against this movie, on top of it being a video game movie, is a fantasy movie, which do not do well at the box office, except for the Tolkien movies. And the reason why those movies worked, and the reason why they're accessible to the mass audience, is because they had a ride-along character. In that case, it was Frodo. This movie, like you alluded to earlier, it may have had someone who they were trying to set up as that ride-along character, but it does not follow through whatsoever. And that's one of the reasons why I was lost. I didn't have someone to follow along with and be introduced to this stuff from his point of view.
Yeah, the story is happening, but no one's explaining it to you.
Yeah.
So you have to put it all together on your own, and if you can't, you are lost. And then even if you can, by the time you figure out what's happening in the movie, you're not emotionally attached to the people, and then those scenes that we talked about earlier start happening, and you're like, oh, man, if you guys you're almost there, I just don't care. So, would you recommend the movie in the theater? I'm saying no. I'm a huge Warcraft fan.
I don't know. I can't. Definitely see it on video on demand. This is a movie that I can see has a lot of potential with it. It's very creative. It's very imaginative. the execution is just very sloppily done. It's just not well put together, but it's good enough, or at least there's at least enough good stuff in it that I would like to see a sequel, like to see where this goes. I just wish that they will allow a director to tell a more cohesive story as opposed to just throwing a bunch of fan service at the screen.
Yeah, this won't be the only Warcraft movie you see. They left this movie about as open-ended as I've ever seen a movie left open. I mean, like, usually they, like it's the, ah ha ha ha, I'll be back. There's some tiny little thing. I feel like we said at the end, people were waiting around for a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Like, the whole movie was a post-credit scene. The whole
Yeah.
movie was a setup to just more movies.
Yeah.
Same problems Apocalypse had and a lot of other movies we see now. So concerned about franchise. They just put a name on it, send it out there. They assume it's going to make $80 million opening weekend, and when this movie only makes $35 million this fucking weekend, they're going to be disappointed with the product because they didn't bother to make a good product.
That's a good bet. Like, what do you think this movie's going to make opening weekend?
Okay, well, so here's the thing. Ninja Turtles did 35. I think this movie does 37. I mean, I really don't think it's going to make any more than Ninja Turtles does. Plus, Conjuring is out. Now You See Me Too. People are going to be attracted to see those movies. So I say 37 billion max.
Go 41.
Nice.
All right.
So we'll find out. Well, thank you everybody for watching our Warcraft review. Unless you have anything else to say, Eric, I'm going to tip off the fans.
Nope.
All right, yeah, nope. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching again. Remember to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our channel. Please comment, like, subscribe. Check out massmediagalaxy.com. And what's your website for comic reviews?
Thecomicsgalaxy.wordpress.com.
Yeah, we're going to get rid of that WordPress one day, kids. Read his blog so we can make some money and get rid of that.